Better tighten that wrist strap because we're going to be going at Mach speed this time.
Oh, wow.
I'm Chorpsaway.
I'm Jordan.
I'm TheJayOfSpade. Please connect that nunchuck or classic controller.
That's right. It's time for Konami to make another video game.
Oh, wow.
Now, Chorps, what video game is this?
This is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Wheelie Breakers.
Hell
the
yeah.
racing spin-off based on the
racing
popular
anime
series. Yes, the racing anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's.
You know, one thing I love about this series is that all the motorbikes look like arcade cabinets that you'd see in the early 90s.
Yeah, especially the one that's just like a big wheel.
No, that's what I call an aesthetic.
So this game came out in Japan and came out in America 2 months after, and I think that alone will kind of like explain a lot of the localization problems with it.
Okay.
It's very clearly like a rush job.
Did this song have like lyrics in the Japanese version or anything?
No, this is an instrumental version of the Japanese opening.
Okay. But like in the game, in the Japanese version of the game.
Why is there like just some fire off to the side on the left side of the screen?
That's a really great question.
I wonder if like they moved a model there and they just sort of forgot to like move it further away?
Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Wheelie Breakers!
This is the only voice talent you're going to hear through the entire game, just so you know.
That's a very intimidating picture, you say. And also, like,
Yeah.
It looks kind of off-model. Like, his face isn't that long, usually.
Right, it looks like he's like staring down at me, like I fell on the ground and he's very cross.
Right? I can't believe you beefed it on your motorbike,
No.
on your dual runner.
He's very motocross.
Right. Anyways, to show off at least the start of the game proper, I'm creating a new save file because look, you can design your character, sort of.
Is this the only thing you get to do? Just pick a color?
Well, okay, so there are only 15 of 45 locked at the start, so you gotta get to choose through. And they're all kind of bad.
I like that purple one you just can't get by.
And then also, you can customize your bike.
Please go with the baby blue.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Please go with the mint blue. Or bumblebee yellow.
All these are so good.
Yeah, they're great. And then you get to name your dual runner too, and in the game it'll refer to it on occasion. And so again in just a moment of clarity, I decided to name it after the LP group.
Wow, thank you. I thought you were gonna name it Tristan at first.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna name an anime.
And so this has a story mode that's, I guess, sort of, kind of like Season 1 of the anime, a little bit. There's the Grand Prix mode, which is like kind of the 8-player free-for-all, much more in line with like a Mario Kart. Matchup lets you have this kind of like a make your own race, one-on-one, you can do co-op. Tune-up we'll get to later. It sort of lets you update your deck and your motorbike.
Okay.
And what does options do?
That's where the options are.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so it's not like R-Type, where it's like your cards are your power-ups.
Right, there aren't like two... You can't get like two motorcycles that also shoot out cards. So, this game, in Japanese, has, I don't think full voice acting, but at least has like more voice acting, and this game more or less has none. It's kind of just the announcer.
Okay.
So, like, I think things like this in the Japanese are covered and, like, they're read out to you.
They must read really fast, then.
Yeah. So basically the idea is, after Turbo Duels got big, which are the racing duels, they came up with a new sport called Wheelie Breakers. And Wheelie Breakers is, instead of dueling while racing, it's racing while dueling. The focus is more on the race part.
Oh, wow.
I never knew before this kid's name was Rally. I always thought it was Riley, and they just pronounced it really weird in the anime.
No, it's Rally.
Oh, thank God.
So, the story, again, is sort of like a retelling of the first season. In the first season, like, Yusei breaks out of the satellite, which is sort of this dilapidated area of the town of Domino City.
He lives the Dominarican dream.
Right. And he makes his way to the tops, which is where all the rich people live. And eventually, he kind of duels his way into the spotlight. And we're going to kind of follow a similar track.
Track.
Ha! Got him. But instead of having to do a bunch of races to get there and stuff, we're joining a virtual tournament to decide whether or not we get taken to tops.
Oh, okay.
And so this guy, Hoodlum, is giving us a terminal with which to do virtual races, but he's not happy. Because we traded him some stuff for it, and apparently his racing is still bad, even after we gave him some sick parts.
Aw, jeez. So Domino City, that's the city where the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Took place, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is in canon with that.
Okay.
This is new Domino City, though.
Oh, okay.
Because old Domino City, there was like it's basically kind of a nuclear fallout sort of thing, like a power plant exploded and kind of caused the satellite to exist.
Showered cards all over the place.
Yeah, and it separated the city literally into two parts.
Yeah, someone pushed a building, and then all the rest just kind of fell with it.
Right.
Like dominoes. Oh, we did that. Okay, I get it. Never mind. Cut that.
But yeah, so we're going to now race this guy for the chance to own this virtual terminal.
All right.
Do you think his name's actually Hoodlum? Like, we've got a friend named Rally. I feel like it isn't out of the realm of possibility.
That his name is Hoodlum, maybe.
That's because he spends his time under the hood of his car so much, tuning it up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because he races with a car.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up thing about him.
He has a hoopty.
So, in this game, you have a deck, and the deck is sort of like a set of Mario Kart-style power-ups or power-downs that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
So you set these ahead of time, and then when going through sort of their equivalent of the question mark blocks, you'll draw a card that you can then use depending on what its effect is.
All right.
And so they come in a bunch of different, where it's like reactions, like traps are all reactions that sort of like, when you get hit with something, this happens. And then you have magic cards, which you can use whenever, depending, and then monster cards, which we'll go into in a bit. And you can also trick out your bike. So like,
you can put spoilers and...
Yeah, like you can put a trading card in your bike and it like goes against the spokes. It's kind of like that, but it'll power you up.
But it also makes it sound like a motorcycle, so it's really cool.
Right, and so different types of cards give different stats based on top speed, acceleration, and handling.
Can I take a super wild guess? Does Rush recklessly make you go faster?
Yeah, it's just a boost.
Okay.
We'll show that off in a bit.
What's up, guys? It's Sonic Chick here. Just gotta update you about the newest Sonic Forces. Okay, that was my joke.
So, monster cards you can attack with, and sort of they act as a defense for your life points, which if your life points hit 0 in the middle of a duel, you'll wipe out.
Oh, no.
I like this angle a lot.
Yeah, you can, so the way it's set up is that you have the Wiimote and the nunchuck, and your nunchuck is all the racing stuff, and all the dueling and auxiliary stuff is on the Wiimote. And so there's a button just to look backwards.
Sweet.
And you can also turn around at any point to sort of like direct attacks towards the opponent.
Like Cars 2, the video game.
Yeah, exactly like that.
But is there no button to drift?
There is no drift button.
Oh my god.
Which is maybe the worst part about this, is sort of like you have to drift using the brakes. Which I guess is like more accurate or whatever, but you know.
Yeah, but there is a drift feature.
Yeah, it's not great, In fact, I probably beef it more often when I try to do it than anything, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's a high skill ceiling sort of game.
Has summoned a monster.
And so in the top right, you see that we have our speed gauge. Mm-hmm. And for each one of those, sort of like certain monsters will require a certain number of them in order to be summoned, and then require a different amount in order to attack.
Is that the DC or?
Yeah, that's the DC.
Okay.
So like, Junk Warrior here requires 8 counters in order to be able to attack.
Okay. The DC stands for Domino City, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's what they call their dollars.
Right. That's also what Washington, D.C. stands for.
Yeah.
Weird. So you can see that all the monsters... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, this game is called 5D's, and I was going to try to make a guess of what those 5D's are.
Okay, so what do you think the D's are?
Well, since this is a
there
very,
it goes, spinning out.
evasive game, I'm going to assume that it's dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Okay, that's a good guess.
Okay.
And maybe we'll figure out more about what those D's mean later.
All right.
So, each monster has a health meter that you can see underneath their attack and defense, and I've never been able to figure out what decides how much health they have. I think it has something to do with defense points plus attack points, but I'm not positive, and so it becomes really hard to figure out like what's going to kill and what's only going to damage. But if you have a monster, if like a monster gets destroyed while it's out, you lose all of your speed counters.
Oh, no.
Oh. That seems harsh.
Also, the only way I've figured out how to take sharp turns consistently is just to ride the wall.
Well, I mean, that's why they're there.
Yeah, you don't lose like a ton of speed if you ride the wall, and it kind of directs you straight through, so it's a benefit.
Alright.
So, would you say that it's better to, like, sort of stay in the vicinity of your enemy and try to KO them, or to just, like, beat them in a race?
It depends. I think, in certain races, like, it's going to be a lot harder to sort of be able to keep knocking them down, like spinning them out, because that makes them waste, like, 5-10 seconds. Ultimately, if you have the opportunity to just speed past them, you should. I don't, because I want to show a bunch of stuff off.
Oh, okay. This is an LP, not a speed run.
Right? Anyways, we just make fun of this man, and he gives us a virtual terminal so that we can properly enter the Wheelie Breakers, I guess, like, qualifiers.
Damn, I didn't know this game had VR, too.
Personally, I commend Sega for making a Virtua game about airports.
But so, now we go to my completed save, and there are some stages that have multiple variants, and sort of like, it's kind of like a first run versus second run sort of thing.
Right.
So this would happen if we did the story mode a second time on a new save. This one, unlike the other ones, kind of follows straight from the original story. So now that we've got the virtual terminal, we get stopped by sector security here.
No.
Whoa. This guy's only a 2-star monster, though. We can take him.
Right, he's weak. But sector security are the cops, and, as you might expect from a story about sort of breaking your way into sort of the bourgeois area of town, the police are
The bad
very
guy?
violent and sort of like, against the people who live in Satellite, who are, the poor, the underclass,
Yeah. That's right, we're 1%ers, like the biker 1%ers,
Right.
Yeah.
And so they have decided that we stole this without any evidence, and so they're trying to arrest us.
Ain't that the way?
But, like in real life, all we have to do is we have to beat them in a race, and then they give up. So, once we've kind of once you've gone through the story mode once, you unlock more slots for your duel runners, so you can slot new cards in and kind of get more benefits from slotting your cards in.
You know, I like the version of this event from the series better because in it, Yusei convinces this cop to duel him for no reason.
Right, it's like, hey, we know that you stole a piece of a motorcycle, we're gonna arrest you, and then Yusei's like, actually, you should duel me for it, and he's like, okay.
And the cop the cop has cards with him too, which is my favorite part, as if he would need that regularly on the job.
I mean, in New Domino City, like, you'd rather be carrying a card than a gun, I feel like.
Right.
You gotta stay strapped.
So, here we meet a new type of monster. A lot of the other attacks we've seen have been, like, direct bullets, or like homing shots. This one is a wall type, where every time you hit the attack button, it'll drop something, and if you hit it, you lose top speed for a bit, and you take some damage on your monster.
That seems really strong compared to like the regular attacking type monsters, actually.
I mean, some of the attacking ones home really well, depending on how far you are. Like, the one thing that the blockers really have is if you're ahead, you can sort of set up some really nasty traps, like on these smaller, narrower passages.
Okay.
It's basically sort of like a banana peel situation, right?
Yeah, basically.
Challenger has summoned a monster.
But yeah, so as we use cards within the race, we can't reuse them. So they're all one-time use, and you can only have up to 3 of one in your deck. Kind of like the real rules.
Okay.
Are the driving controls reversed when you're looking behind? Okay.
Driving controls aren't reversed when you're behind or when you're turned around like this.
Oh, okay.
Which is, you do that by waggling the Wiimote.
Great.
So it's great. It never fails.
Oh, that's how you turn around. I thought that was saying that's how you drive.
No. Yep, you gotta waggle the Wiimote to drive. Like you're pumping the gas.
Right, that's how you pump the gas.
Right, by waggling.
That's why I can't ride motorcycles anymore, man. It's just my wrist gets so tired after a while.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
Our challenger just pulverized.
Yeah, so the default deck we're given is like kind of vaguely resembles Yusei's deck from the start. More than anything else, just because Junk Warrior and Sonic Chick are in it.
Yeah.
And the other cards are sort of like all-purpose, sort of like getting you used to the commands, because there's no like tutorial or really explanation of these
No.
of these mechanics in the instructions. So you get to learn sort of like how all the magic cards work and trap cards. So you have stuff that like stops the opponent from attacking if they're behind you. You have stuff that removes their trap cards and stuff like that, and you have like, you know, rush cards, you know, to give speed boosts. So those circular things on the track are action points, and those will fill your counters up to 12 automatically.
Wait, so like even just getting one of them will fill it up to 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the benefit of that is that if you're going through those, you can sort of like attack rapid fire.
Ah.
Or you can wait till you go through it and be able to summon a high-level monster immediately without having to wait for your speed counters to go up.
Okay.
I like that the announcer pops up in the corner every time he says something, so you're never like, oh, who's talking?
Yeah, and that's the only person who has voice acting in this version of the game.
I also like that every time you summon a monster, he's like, the racer just summoned a monster, this is where the real action starts. As if that's not like just the first thing you're ever gonna do.
Also, he's always like, oh, he finally summoned a monster, jeez.
Oh, both opponents are riding a motorcycle. A strange twist.
And they all have cards with them. What's going on anymore?
This guy's never seen anime before.
But yeah, in the original Japanese, they have, like, things that they say during the races when their faces pop up when they get attacked, or if they attack you. But they forgot to do that in English. It's, like, really weird because, like, 4Kids has a pretty good relationship with Konami to the point that Konami bought out 4Kids when they, like, you know, they went bankrupt.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Jeez.
Yeah, they're 4K Media now, and they still handle all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff for Konami.
Oh, that explains why that new Castlevania anime was so, tame.
Right. It's because 4Kids had to rewrite it.
I hated the part where Alucard gets a wall chicken and he's like, "Wow, I'm really feeling this hamburger."